Darnell, why do you think this particular case is struck such a nerve, such a collective nerve with folks?
What I'm noticing and what I've been talking about all week uh, about the Nolan Wells cases, because we as folks, and just thinking about grief, is that, and again, what I've talked about since the beginning of my conversations around it is just how communal Black grief is, where we've never mourned alone. We mourn together, whether we know the person or not. And so when Nolan Wells comes up, it's the same as when Freddie Gray was killed in Baltimore by police. It was the same as when Breonna Taylor was killed. We have always done this thing together. It's sure we don't know him, but that's like our nephew, that's like our grandson, our brother, our cousin. His mother, I'm reading the interviews and the things his mother said, she called him a special soul. And even if you've never met him, you knew him. And so we grieve him because we know what that's like. And we don't get to be in this place and not grieve. So while we're simply adding that grief to what we've been grieving since the beginning. We, as Black folks, we're not allowed to put one thing down before we're allowed to grieve something else. Or before we not allowed, but before we have to grieve something else. And so I think that's what it is. It's exhaustion, frustration, and then on top of that, it's really the uncertainty, right? Like his family is grieving while still looking for answers. And that's one of the hardest kinds of grief there is. People think closure comes from knowing exactly what happened, but sometimes those answers never come. And in this work that I've been doing as a death doula, I've seen families have to learn how to hold both grief and unanswered questions at the same time. And that's an incredibly heavy burden falls on us. When a young Black man dies, we're not just grieving who he is, we're grieving everything he never really got the chance to become. And so for me, I have a son who's 21. Nolan was 18. My son grew up in Palm Beach. A lot of his friends are white. He goes to school now in Tallahassee. And so for me, like I think about that. Look at Nolan like, oh, that's my son. I need to call my son. I need to talk to him and see how he's doing through this. But a lot of that is just exhaustion and not knowing what to do with this very complex grief that we're dealing with right now.